Trade has always been one of the most powerful forces shaping the destiny of nations, and few countries demonstrate this as vividly as Spain. From its ancient Mediterranean exchanges to its global empire of silver, spices and silk, Spain's trade history is both glorious and complex. It connects the story of Europe, the Americas, Asia and Africa into a single tapestry of commerce, conquest and cultural exchange. 1. Ancient Iberian trade routes. Long before Spain emerged as a united kingdom, the Iberian Peninsula was a crossroads of civilizations. The Phoenicians, arriving around 1000 BCE, established colonies like Gadir, modern Cadiz, making the region an important hub for Mediterranean trade. They exchanged salt, silver and fish with other cultures. Later, the Carthaginians and Greeks expanded commerce, bringing olive oil, wine and textiles. The Romans eventually conquered the Iberian Peninsula in the 2nd century BCE. Roman Hispania became famous for exporting olive oil, wine, salt, and metals, especially silver from mines in Cartagena, to the rest of the empire. The Via Augusta and other Roman roads allowed trade to flourish inland, while ports like Tarragona and Malaga connected Hispania to the wider Mediterranean. Thus, trade laid the foundation for Spain's wealth even before it became Spain. 2. Islamic and medieval influence. With the Muslim conquest of Iberia in 711 CE, the peninsula, known as Al-Andalus, was integrated into the vast Islamic trade network. Cities like Cordoba, Toledo, and Seville became centers of craftsmanship and commerce. Spain was now tied to markets stretching from North Africa to the Middle East and even India. Muslim Spain exported silk, ceramics, paper, glass, and leather goods, while importing spices, perfumes, and luxury textiles. Agricultural innovations like irrigation techniques and new crops such as sugarcane, citrus fruits, and rice transformed the economy and provided surplus goods for trade. Meanwhile, Christian kingdoms in northern Spain engaged in maritime commerce with northern Europe. By the late Middle Ages, Castile traded wool with England and Flanders, while Aragon dominated Mediterranean routes, linking Barcelona with Italy and the Levant. 3. The Age of Discovery, Spain as a global trade giant. The turning point in Spanish trade history came in the late 15th century. After the Reconquista ended in 1492, Spain, under Ferdinand and Isabella, turned outward. That same year, Christopher Columbus sailed westward, opening up the Americas to European colonization and trade. Spain rapidly built the first true global empire. Silver from the mines of Potosi in Bolivia and Zacatecas in Mexico flowed to Spain, making it the richest European power of the 16th century. The Spanish crown used the Casa de Contratación in Seville to regulate this commerce, centralizing control of goods from the New World. Key exports and imports included: from the Americas to Spain, silver, gold, cacao, potatoes, tomatoes, maize, and tobacco. From Spain to the Americas, wine, olive oil, iron tools, weapons, and textiles. From Asia via the Philippines, the Manila galleons, silk, porcelain, spices, and other luxury goods exchanged for American silver. Spain effectively connected Europe, the Americas, Africa, and Asia in a single trade web, the first time in history that global trade was truly possible. 4. The Silver Empire and its consequences. Spanish trade in the 16th and 17th centuries was dominated by silver. The sheer volume of American silver exports was staggering. Historians estimate that nearly 150,000 tons of silver reached Spain between the 16th and 18th centuries. This silver fueled Europe's growing economy and became the basis of global commerce, particularly in trade with China, which valued silver highly. However, Spain's dependence on silver also created problems. The influx of wealth led to inflation, the price revolution, weakening the domestic economy. Spanish industries, particularly manufacturing, lagged behind those of France, England, and the Netherlands. Spain became a conduit of wealth rather than a creator, often spending its silver on foreign goods and wars. 5. Competition and decline. By the 17th century, Spain's dominance in trade began to decline. Several factors contributed. Piracy and privateering, English, Dutch, and French pirates, targeted Spanish treasure fleets. Rival empires, the Dutch and English established their own colonial empires, capturing trade routes in Asia and the Americas. Economic weakness, reliance on imports drained Spanish silver reserves. War costs. Endless wars in Europe consumed Spain's wealth, leaving it heavily indebted. Still, Spain maintained vast colonies and continued to trade, though less profitably than before. By the 18th century, reforms under the Bourbon monarchy attempted to revive Spanish commerce by loosening trade restrictions and modernizing infrastructure. 6. The 19th century, loss and transformation. The 19th century was devastating for Spain's trade empire. Between 1810 and 1825, most of Spain's American colonies gained independence, cutting off the flow of silver and colonial goods. Cuba and the Philippines remained, but Spain was no longer the world's leading commercial power. However, Spain did adapt. Trade shifted to agriculture and mining within the peninsula itself. Spanish exports included wine, olive oil, citrus fruits and minerals like iron and mercury. Industrialization was slower than in Britain or France, but regions like Catalonia developed strong textile industries linked to international markets. 7. Modern trade and global integration. In the 20th century, Spain's trade was disrupted by civil war, 1936 to 1939, and isolation during the Franco dictatorship. For decades, Spain's economy was autarkic, self-sufficient, with limited global trade. After the 1950s, however, Spain opened up and experienced the Spanish miracle, a period of rapid economic growth. Joining the European Economic Community, now EU, in 1986 fully integrated Spain into the European and global trading system. Today, Spain is a major exporter of agricultural products, olive oil, wine, citrus fruits, vegetables, industrial goods, automobiles, machinery, chemicals. Services tourism, one of Spain's largest sources of income, is often considered part of modern trade in global economics. Spain now plays a crucial role in EU trade, acting as a gateway between Europe, Africa, and Latin America. 8. Legacy of Spanish trade. The history of Spanish trade is more than an economic story, it is cultural. Spanish merchants, explorers, and colonizers spread the Spanish language, Catholic religion, and Iberian culture across Latin America, the Philippines, and parts of Africa. At the same time, Spain absorbed countless influences: chocolate and tomatoes from the Americas, silk and porcelain from Asia, and agricultural techniques from the Islamic world. While Spain's dominance faded, its role in creating the first truly global trading system remains undeniable. The silver galleons, the treasure fleets, and the bustling markets of Seville and Manila left a legacy that shaped world history. Conclusion. Spain's trade history is a journey from local exchanges in ancient Iberia to global dominance in the age of exploration, from silver-fueled wealth to the struggles of decline, and finally, to modern integration in the European Union. It is a story of both triumph and tragedy, innovation and over-reliance, expansion and contraction. Few nations have had such a dramatic and enduring impact on global trade. Spain's commercial past stands as a reminder that trade is never just about goods. It is about the movement of people, ideas, and cultures across the world.